All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Guys, illegal immigrants did not build this country. Slaves did not build this country. I know it's politically expedient for the left to make such arguments, but it is absolutely not the case. So we're going to go through video after video after video today. So I hope that you will join us on social media, also on subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Rumble, so that you can take a look at these videos. But we're going to start with what is a pretty graphic video. So I want to warn you, for those of you that are viewing this video online, I got to be honest with you, I'm a complete wuss when it comes to videos like this, but I feel like I owe it to this young lady to address this video, to address this type of beating and this style of beating that seems to be pervasive amongst our youngsters today. And apparently this is a young lady by the name of Kaylee. She attends the Hazelwood School District in, I believe it's St. Louis, Missouri area. And apparently she's either in critical condition or dead. We do not know yet, but I do want to brace yourselves for this video. And then I'm going to give you my take on what it will take to stop brutal beatings like this, especially when it comes to youngsters, whether they're in the hood or wherever they may be, because there is a trend that has begun, and I don't see it slowing down. I'm going to talk to you about that, and then we'll dive in after the video, and then we'll dive into some commentary on some of the latest news and the fallout of Biden's State of the Union address and him saying that illegal immigrants built this country. Laken Riley called her Lincoln Riley, so on, etc. The ramifications of that and what the left is continuing to do to try and destroy the United States of America through illegal immigration. So we'll talk about that. But first, without any further ado, and we've got lots of video for you today. So again, please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and Rumble so you can be sure to watch these as well. And guys, please share this show with friends, with neighbors. Subscribe, all that good stuff. It's really going to help us. It's really going to help you, because frankly, we're all fighting to save or to restore constitutional principles. Without any further ado, again, I'm gonna warn you about this video. This young lady in St. Louis, Missouri, I mean, it just looks like a big student brawl, and she's in it, and she gets beat savagely. Her name is Kaylee. Let's go ahead and roll the video, please, Gabe.
Look.
So the black girl takes her to the ground, punches her in the head relentlessly, slams her head to the concrete, slams her head to the concrete. People just sit down and watch. The young white girl is now seizuring. Okay, and then there's a bunch of thugs just fighting. The black girl that just literally critically injured the white girl is still trying to fight other people. Look at the fights are just nonstop. The white girl is laid out. Kaylee, I'm sorry, is laid out in the street. Finally, someone looks at her. Okay, all right, let's stop this video. I mean, absolutely disgusting. And the hoodlums just continue fighting. Guys, have you noticed that the violence when it comes to teen violence in these types of fight, particularly in the black neighborhoods, let's be real, and amongst blacks, has seemed to grow even more vicious. There was a time in which fights used to occur, even where I grew up. And, granted, I grew up in a gang-infested area, so there was a lot of gang violence, and sometimes the gang violence, I mean, they could get insane, right? You're talking about violence, murder and all that kind of nonsense. But that's a different category. There were always these types of fights, brawls, maybe before school, during school, or after school, where there was a time where people could fight. Somebody would get the best of people and they would walk away. Now, if you notice, a lot of these videos, especially with these youngsters, and sadly with so many blacks that I'm seeing, is they will keep fighting, and then if they knock someone out, They'll continue fighting. They'll punch the person on the ground. They'll kick the person in the face, or they'll stump their, or they'll bash their heads, just like you saw in this video with this young girl, Kaylee. Here's what I'm proposing. Here's what I believe. You guys may or may not know that George Zimmerman, who justifiably shot and killed Trayvon Martin, did so because Trayvon Martin began to bash his head on the concrete, just like you saw this young black lady bashing Kaylee's head on the concrete. Here's what I think needs to happen. I think every single person, I don't care if you're 15, 16, 17 years old, you have enough common sense, and you have enough of, God has put common sense in you. God has put this, God, you know right from wrong. People know right from wrong. It's intuitive. God has put that in you. When you are bashing a person's head on the concrete, or if you kick them in the head, I don't care what age you are, I think you should be charged with attempted murder. I think this young black girl, I don't know her. I don't know why this fight started, but she had the best of that girl. She had her on the ground. The girl was virtually already knocked out and in a submissive position, and she proceeds to slam her head on the concrete with a total disregard for life. Okay, so if you want to disregard life like that, we'll go ahead and put you in jail for life. How about that? That needs to start happening all across this country, because this violence, even amongst youngsters, has gotten completely and utterly out of control. I don't know. There's reports that Kaylee is dead. There's reports that she's still in critical condition. I don't know. I don't know what the case is, but all I know is that there's obviously, regardless, there's going to be some serious damage. Even if she is alive, there's going to be some serious damage done to Kaylee as a result of those slams on the concrete. That's attempted murder, and that girl should go to jail for attempted murder. If it's 20, 25 years, she should be charged as an adult. She should go to jail for attempted murder. All right. So that, in my opinion, you bash somebody in the head like that, that's self-defense. If somebody else were to come along with a gun, they should be able to legally shoot you in order to stop you from murdering someone else. All right, let's move on. Now, last week, Joe Biden got into trouble, and I've got several headlines that I'm going to go through relatively quickly, because he called, first off, he called Laken Riley, the young University of Georgia nursing student, by the wrong name. He called her Laken Riley, and then, like an idiot, he tried to prove that he knew, that he was aware, concerned about her. He talks about the illegal alien that murdered her. Briefly, he didn't know what to say from there because his mind is gone. So I want to take you back there, and then I'm going to take you to some subsequent videos that he's had since in an interview on one of these left-wing media news organizations. I forget which, to be frank with you. But anyway, the video's there. We'll play that. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to take you back to a time and place where both Joe Biden and former President Barack Obama sounded like moderate Republicans when it came to the border issue. But here's where Joe Biden screwed up. Let's go ahead and play it, por favor, Gabe.
I know you know how to read. I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, the majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by.
Let's go ahead and end this. You can stop this video, Gabe. All right. So he says, Laken Riley, how many thousands of people are killed by illegals? He basically minimized her murder. And then he got in trouble over the weekend for giving this interview. Again, I forget which news organization it is on, so forgive me for that. but the left went bat crazy, or at least the left wing crazies went bat crazy when it comes to that. Joe Biden ended up getting into trouble. He was on MSNBC. Play whichever one of those videos, Gabe. You're right. I did send you duplicates. Hopefully, it has the line that we're looking for in it. Regardless, there's at least one line where Joe Biden talks about illegal immigrants building America. But hopefully, this does have the audio where he backtracks on calling the murderer of Laken Riley an illegal because he's gotten pressure from the radicals in his party, the pro-Hamas radicals in his party. So let's go ahead and roll this video. Hopefully it has both sound bites that we're looking for. Let's go ahead and roll it, por favor, Gabe.
But during your response to her heckling of you, you used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
All right. So that's Joe Biden. First off, the guy is a murderer. I don't give a flip if the left doesn't want to call him he's an illegal. He is an illegal alien. Let me tell you why this is so important. If that murderer of Laken Riley is not an illegal alien for invading our country, guys, then we don't have a country, right? Because that means that if he's not an illegal alien, that means that our country is not sovereign. That means that borders don't matter. And that means that we're not U.S. citizens. So if there's no such thing as an illegal alien inside of the United States, we're screwed. We're screwed. And you have Biden giving permission. You have Biden giving permission for more illegal aliens to come in. So if there's no such thing as an illegal alien in the United States of America, you're not a U.S. citizen, and we're absolutely screwed. This is not a sovereign country. We are absolutely screwed. So that answer is not just stupid. It is dangerous because he's still inviting illegals to come into this country. And let me say this. I'm so sick and tired. The left constantly trying to revise America. Let me just be blunt. All right. Slaves didn't build America. Illegal immigrants didn't build America. Americans built America. When you had people coming into this country from Ellis Island, they accepted the fact that they were leaving their native countries behind to become the United States of America. Guys, we had the Industrial Revolution. I'm sorry for those of you guys that are out there that are misinformed and want to try to pretend like, let's just be real, that black people are the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's just not true. What happened in the United States with slavery is horrendous. But to sit here and pretend like it happened elsewhere or didn't happen anywhere else, you're just crazy and you're uninformed. Sadly, many blacks that were sold into slavery, actually the majority of them, if not all, were sold into slavery by other Africans. All right. So now Biden is using that same argument when it comes to illegal immigrants. And frankly, they were many of the slaves, most of the slaves, if not all, were concentrated in the South. The South was absolutely poverty stricken. They counted on plantation life, picking cotton, so on, etc. So when you saw the North advancing in different type of manufacturing, the South was left way behind. And as a result of that, you still saw up until recently, the South seemed dumbed down. The people didn't seem as smart or as intelligent, white or black, to be frank with you. I mean, so I even saw remnants of it when I first moved out here. Then you get other people from other states that start to move out here and things started to progress. Now Florida is one of the better educational states, if not the best, in the entire United States of America. But I'm sorry, I'm tired of this argument. Slaves didn't build America. Illegal immigrants didn't build America. Americans built America. It's as simple as that. So Biden apologizing for calling Lincoln, what a complete and utter disaster. What a disgrace this guy is. But here's what Biden had to say about the borders. I'm not exactly sure when this occurred. I believe this was during the George W. Bush administration. But Joe Biden was singing a different tune then. So let's go ahead and let's roll this video, por favor, Gabe.
Okay. And so I think they're split. I don't know.
Let me talk to something unsavory now. The issue of immigration.
Yeah.
Is there a Democratic Party position which accommodates the need to stop illegal entry, punish people who hire people at cheap wages illegally, and also gives hope to people who live here illegally and people who want to come here right now? Is there a possible combination that hits all those points?
I think there is. And I think that the McCain-Kennedy bill, Kennedy-McCain, the Specter bill that came out does it. If you take a look, Chris, at what Frist is talking about, only enforcement. The enforcement provisions that sit inside the Specter bill, the McCain or the Kennedy-McCain bill, there ain't a dime's worth of difference to them. They're the same amount of money, 12,000 new border agents.
Think they work?
I think they will work better if they actually, in fact, do it.
Can you scare an employer in this country, whether he's an agricultural worker or a housewife, into not hiring an illegal because the punishment's so high that if you get caught,
yes,
it's a huge embarrassment to your family, and you may just get hit with a fine that'll kill you.
Absolutely, you can do that. And that's what we should do. Well, I think we should do that.
Because you can't catch everybody.
You can't. No, you can't. And the last part of this is that the Democratic position also recognized you got 11 million illegal aliens here. They have to have a way to earn their way into the deal. This is an amnesty. They're required to take 11 years' worth. They pay a fine. They got to learn to speak English. They got to pass tests.
I like the English part.
Yeah.
I like the English part.
By the way,
if we want the problems of Canada right now, to keep encouraging people to keep their foreign language, English is going to unite this country potentially. It always has in the past.
I can't think of a country that has two languages as their accepted languages that is doing all that well, including Switzerland and or Canada.
It divides us.
Yeah.
And you can't talk to each other. Anyway, thank you, Senator Joe Biden. We've solved it. You've done it.
All right, so that's Joe Biden willingly using the term illegal alien because it was the right thing to do on Chris Matthews' show, Hardball, back in the day. Now, all of a sudden, illegal alien is a bad thing. No, it's the same thing, and it's a worse problem now. Again, if we don't stop this nonsense, illegal aliens are illegal aliens. If we don't stop calling, or if we stop calling them illegal aliens, guys, understand what the left is trying to do. They're trying to make global citizens out of us. All right. So if there is no such thing as an illegal alien when somebody breaks into our country without our invitation, then there's no such thing as an American citizen because we don't have a sovereign nation. It's really that simple. Now, so moving on, that's Joe Biden. When he actually made sense. There's a lot of things happening. World War III is about to break out. I mean, this guy in the office, in the White House, he is so dangerous. I'll get to a couple headlines in just a sec. Another thing that was in the news today, Democrats have unanimously voted down in the Senate a proposal that would prohibit or prevent illegal aliens from voting. Why would they do that? Why this issue should remain front and center. Why would Democrats vote down a proposal that would prevent illegal aliens from voting? Guys, there's only a few reasons why they would do that. First off, the main reason is just votes and power. What they want to do is increase the number of people in their districts. They want to increase what's called apportionment, so that they have more people voting inside of their districts, more bodies, because when the census considers, districts, congressional maps, it doesn't matter whether or not you're an American citizen or not. All the census does is count bodies. So based upon that, the Democrat Party can win more seats, gain more seats in the House, and they can also change the Electoral College. All right. So this is what they want. They want power. Another thing the left is trying to do, another reason why senators in the Democrat Party now are okay with illegal immigrants voting is because, guys, they want to destroy the middle class. That's what the left is doing. They're trying to intentionally destroy the middle class. I was on Officer Tatum last week. I'm in the middle of looking for a car, and I share with that audience what I'll share with you. I can barely afford one right now. I literally my car was totaled because the craziest thing ever, Domino's pizza delivery driver totaled my car. But when I bought my car, it was an older model car. I don't buy any new cars. I can't afford a new car, to be frank with you. But I do try to buy older cars, very low mileage, that are nice, that literally, I can get 50, 60% on discount. So I'll buy luxury brand cars, but I'll buy very old cars. All right. And so my car was literally, 11 years old when it was totaled, had only about 80,000 miles on it. It was in excellent condition, mechanically, and paint and everything. My brother's a mobile detail. I mean, he would hook the thing up, and I'm fanatic about keeping my cars up mechanically. So it was in great shape. So now it's totaled. I go to look for the same car, and the same car, in some cases older, is more expensive now, like 20%. I mean, it's insane. It is insane. But this is where we're at. So the left is trying to crush the middle class. They want to make you a global citizen. If the left can bring in a bunch of illegals, all of us in the middle class or in lower classes are competing for jobs, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to create a society of the have and have-nots. It's as simple as that. That's what they're trying to do, because that's how they will keep their power. I want to play this old video. This is President Barack Obama. Barack Obama in 2009. But before I do that, guys, I do want to remind you, this show is not possible without our sponsors. First off, I'm going to ask you to please, again, subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Please, if you want to watch the videos today, and I suggest you do, please subscribe and review our podcast, The Carl Jackson Show, on YouTube and Rumble. Guys, please share the podcast. We would certainly appreciate it. Follow me on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on True Social Getter, so on, etc. Wherever I am on social media, The Carl Jackson Show is where you can go to find me. And lastly, I want to talk to you about MyPillow. So Mike Lindell has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. That's his calling in life. All right. So after he invented the world's best pillow, he created the famous Giza Dream Sheets. Now they are the best sheets you'll ever sleep on. So for a limited time now, you will get a queen size set for just $59.98. That's excellent. A king size just for $69.98. Those are the lowest prices in history. Mike and MyPillow continue to be counseled by big box stores and attacked by the mainstream media. But they appreciate all of your great support during these times, and they want to thank you by giving you free shipping on your entire order today. All right, so you can get free shipping on anything you order. All right. So to get these specials, all you have to do, go to mypillow.com. Go to mypillow.com. You can click on the radio podcast square at the top of the page. Enter the promo code Carl. That's spelled CARL. Use that promo code. All right. And then you'll be able, or you can, if you prefer, you can call at 800-858-0263. Again, 800-858-0263. You get the famous Giza Dream Sheets. You get queen size for $59.98, the king size for just $10 more. You'll also get 60% off of the original My Slippers. Those things are comfortable as all get out, by the way. So call 800-858-0263 or go to mypillow.com. Again, use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't spell it like the communists. All right, so C-A-R-L. Now, getting back to the podcast real quickly, let's go right to this video. This is former President Barack Obama in 2009, sounding like a moderate Republican when it came to border issues. Let's go ahead and roll it, por favor, Gabe.
This is not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally. But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship, so that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity. Now, it only works, though, if you do all the pieces. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration, but They can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it. So we've got to deal with that at the same time as we deal in a humane fashion with folks who have put down roots here, have become our neighbors, have become our friends. They may have children who are U.S. citizens. That's the kind of comprehensive approach that we have to take.
All right, so that's former President Barack Obama. Obviously, I don't agree with him on everything. I'm not even convinced that he believes all of that stuff, because a lot of it, honestly, once you start giving illegal aliens permission to come into the country unlawfully, even if it's in a minor way, that opens the door for the slippery slope. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that argument. I don't care. It's true. All right, slippery slope argument. However, listening to that video, does Barack Obama not sound like some Republicans today? That's 2009, and at the time, that was the most radical president we had. So just keep that in American, one of the most radical besides Woodrow Wilson that we had, and FDR in American history. All right, now, so that's Barack Obama. If the Democrat Party were talking, he would be kicked out of his party today. He would be kicked to the curb. He would be called a racist and a xenophobic today, were Barack Obama to share that same information. That's how far left the Democrat Party has gone. Now, here's New York Attorney General Letitia James. Apparently, she's at a the fire chiefs or fire department of New York. She's at some type of an event with them, and she gets shouted down. The New York firefighters that shouted her down are going to be forced to take a re-education class after chanting Trump during her speech. I say, I don't know if this is possible. I don't know how being a cop works as opposed to being a firefighter, but maybe you guys should come to Florida. Screw New York. New York is gone. It's going to have to get so bad in New York that even lefties are going to have to wake up and say, what are we doing? Let's vote for somebody that really cares about this place. But here's New York Attorney General Letitia James, who has been persecuting Trump and ran on persecuting Trump, got elected to persecute Trump, and is fulfilling that obligation. But some of these New York firefighters have had enough. Let's go ahead and roll the video, por favor, Gabe. All right, so that's New York Attorney General Letitia James being shouted down by Trump supporters, I guess, with the firefighters union in New York. Maybe it's Letitia James that needs to be re-educated. Maybe it's Letitia James that needs to relearn the Constitution, the way that it was intended. Maybe it's Letitia James. Maybe it's Letitia James that needs to learn that you don't destroy the rule of law in order to build up your own name. So maybe it's Letitia James that needs to be re-educated. You guys ever think about that? I have no problem with these people shouting. This is America, man. This is America. The left is trying to take away our ability to be able to speak out or to think freely unless we agree with the communists, the small group of communists that are trying to take over the country. Letitia James being one of them. Actually, she's a fascist given the power that she has. All right, now, a couple more stories that I want to share with you before we close this thing out today. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a podcast later, maybe this evening or another one tomorrow, because I didn't give my take on the State of the Union. So I want to share 11 whoppers that Joe Biden told during his State of the Union address that were frankly lies to his own constituency. So I'll break it down in a little different way for you. And I still think it's important because a lot of this stuff is going to come back to bite Joe Biden on the butt or in the butt. There's a couple of stories that I want to share with you. I'm going to have to, I believe, refresh my computer in order to do that. Gabe, look at that. Now your thing literally just came. That is insane. Anyway, we were having some technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. Gabe was trying to send me a link here, and it literally just came. This is insane. That's so weird. I'm not sure what's happening, but that's technology for you. All right, so a couple of things that were on the tip sheet that I want to share that I think are extremely important. And one is extremely dangerous to the world order. I'm really concerned about this. I'll just give you the headline and read a little bit about it. But guys, I'm just being honest with you. I don't like being a nervous Nelly or a worry wart. But this guy is a disaster, and we have to. Joe Biden is, and we have to understand that there are countries out there that are going to try to take advantage of the United States while this guy is still in office. So let me give you the headline, okay? Excuse me, my voice seems to be going here. So President Biden orders 1,000 troops to construct a pier in Gaza to deliver meals to Palestinians. Excuse me? Excuse me? All right, so Joe Biden is deploying the U.S. military to Gaza to build a pier so that millions of meals can be delivered to the Palestinians every day. The move by Biden comes as he seeks to quell opposition from far-left Democrats and Muslim voters inside of the U.S. You know, the very small group of people that are in Minnesota. Unbelievable. Who are angry, and some in Michigan, who are angry that he has not done more to support Palestinians, which doesn't exist, by the way, after Palestinian Islamic terrorists with Hamas murdered, butchered, raped 1,200 Jewish people inside Israel during their unprecedented October 7th terrorist attack. And so Joe Biden is so concerned about getting reelected. He doesn't want to lose places like Minnesota. He doesn't want to lose areas or the state of Michigan, which, by the way, Robert F. Kennedy is now going to be eligible for the ballot. It looks like in Michigan. It's going to make it a little harder for Joe Biden in Michigan. Thank God. So, you know, this 2024 is doable as long as we get out, excuse me, and vote. Let me tell you here are some of my fears when it comes to Biden sending 1,000 U.S. troops over. What if let's just play this out. So what if one of these Hamas Islamic terrorists kills an American soldier and blames Israel? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Joe Biden? You idiot, sending Americans over there, putting them in harm's way with a bunch of terrorists that hate us, and trying to put Israel in a position where they can't fight back against the people that literally tried to commit genocide on them on October 7th. You idiot. You are destroying the world for a bunch of woke radicals, you freaking moron. God help me. I hate this guy. He is evil incarnate. I God forbid, I pray to God one of our troops don't get hurt over there. But you know what? They probably will. They probably will. And be used for propaganda. It's just scary. It's scary where we are. In another note, the U.S. and the U.K. Shot down 28 Houthi drones. So this, according to CBS, the U.S. military and its allies shot down a flurry of at least 28 drones in the Red Sea that were fired by Iranian-backed Houthi militants in Yemen on Saturday. The Pentagon said, this according to the Pentagon, the Defense Secretary Grant Shapps posted video to social media early Saturday showing what he said was the British warship HMS Richmond using missiles to shoot down 2 Houthi drones. You see what happens when you play with these guys? You see what happens when you're a weak leader? Guys, I don't want to be drawn into war. All right, I don't want to be drawn into war. When one of these cats mess with you, you need to send a message that is so emphatic, they're like, crap. Let's tell stories to our children's children that they should never mess with the United States of America because they just obliterated that. That's what should happen. All right. I know everybody wants to be, pretend like the world is nice and lovey and America is the reason for all of the transgressions in the world and all of the hostility from all of these other countries. But the truth is, a lot of other countries deal with evil. They're just evil. The United States, I'm not saying we're perfect. As a matter of fact, we are far from perfect. But our Constitution, our Judeo-Christian heritage, they are a North Star. All right. They're a guiding light to where we can get back to make this nation exceptional again, make it the nation that God intended for it to be. Here's a last doozy that I'll share with you because this is huge. Even though we all knew this, it's very important that you understand now more people know. Independents will know. This is very important. So January 6th committee falsely claimed that there was no evidence proving that Trump requested additional security for the Capitol. They falsely claimed that, if I didn't read that word into it. So now everyone knows that the January 6th committee, it was just a show trial, and they completely lied. This from Fox News. The January 6th Congressional Committee allegedly falsely claimed that it did not have evidence showing Trump that former President Donald Trump's administration requested National Guard assistance, according to a report detailing a quote unquote hidden transcript. All right. That was recently released. The former J6 Select Committee apparently withheld Mr. Ornato's critical witness testimony from the American people because it contradicted their predetermined narrative. Mr. Ornato's testimony proves what Mr. Meadows has said all along, that President Trump did, in fact, offer 10,000 National Guard troops to secure the U.S. Capitol, but it was turned down. Georgia Republican Representative Barry Loudermilk said in a statement this occurred on Friday. So the president, even though he offers the troops, he's got to get the okay by Nancy Pelosi, who was the Speaker of the House at the time, and also Mayor Muriel Bowser of D.C. Both of them turned him down. All right. So now I knew this all along. Many of you in this audience knew it all along, but now this news is continuing to leak out as the left's persecution against the former president seems to continue to backfire. And I just pray that it backfires enough on election day to send a lot of these people packing, and frankly, many of them to jail. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, please remember to subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. On YouTube and Rumble, please review us. All right. Would you please do that? Would you please like or, share, subscribe, whatever it takes there, frankly, to get us moving up the charts? We would certainly appreciate that. All things social media at the Carl Jackson Show. And guys, listen, this is your daily dose of freedom. Until next time, do not grow weary doing good. God bless you.